Alright there, hello everyone, hello, Soulsfer17 here, like like usual. I did not own this picture, non-paid video, okay, so here's the thing, I'm making this video, it is currently 4:34, and I'm not making it that long, because I was busy today, and I just did some homework. That was what I did mostly. I did that in the morning, went over to my friend's house, upload my video of the quirkless Deku, and I'm gonna make the second part tomorrow, but tonight I'm gonna work on the Goro one. Well, I'm making the quirkless Deku tomorrow night. Friday, I'm gonna go back over to my friend's house, and I am then, going to be going to GameStop to get Monster Hunter Rise, basically, so, hey, good for me. But yeah, anyways though, so this video is not gonna be that long. I apologize for that. You guys have been waiting for a very long time. I do remember what I put in. Basically, since I gave him, well, a healing class was Phoenix. Basically, swordsman class, thieves class, increasing his fire, basically, King of Hell, and a Angel of Death. Okay, I'm trying to think. I gave him 6 to 5, maybe even 7. I did not watch the video all the way. I just tried to get to the end. But I do know is though I did give him like a lot of OP stuff. So yeah, this video is just going to cover only the movie. Yeah, it's only going to be covering the movie. I know I made Deku essentially a god. So yeah, and everything's going to be different from here on out. So my own stuff added into it. So I might need to go into the movie, or I might need to go into, yeah, the movie. So, okay, so basically, Deku's with his mom and dad and brother. Inko, All for One, and Shigaraki. Dabi's in the same household as him, because, well, Dabi says, my little brother too, so I'm staying in the same house. And Inko accepted him into the family right away. Because, she said, you trained my son, you gave him a quirk, you gave him power, so, well, I mean, along with his father, but, you trained him. So, you are officially a part of the family. And so, he's not used to atmosphere, but, when Izuku sees everyone, he goes, morning everyone, which they all say morning to him. So, well, Shigaraki says, hey Zuko, you want to play a game later today? Davi says, nah, he can't. Remember, he has to go on that trip because of, well, my sister, Shota, in which Alphonse goes like, just no funny business on the trip. Which Deku just looks at him and goes like, really? What do you even think? He goes, your quirk. Don't cause nothing of a problem. Alright? He goes, okay, I won't steal nothing. I won't accidentally cut something in half. I won't basically, have to have a, an instant kill on them, burning anyone alive and all that. He says, so yeah. In which, he was good. So, now then, what time are you going to be going on your trip? Deku just says, well, since it's 11 right now, because I was up all night because of a certain somebody, as he looks at both his parents as they just, well, Shigaraki and Dabi says, he said exactly the same thing as you. And his mom was like, what? we haven't seen each other for a very long time. Like, you didn't have to be that noisy, Mom, Deku says. And she goes, sorry, dear. Sorry, so he was like, no, I shouldn't be complaining, but you're just lucky I made soundproof headphones. In which Dabi and Shigaraki could look at him saying, you couldn't have given us any. It was, no, my stuff, my crafting. In which they all start laughing. So, Izuku then suddenly gets a text on his phone. It's from Shota, which is Todoroki, female, saying she's on her way over. Be ready in whatever time. It doesn't really matter to her. She's also coming to see her brother after a very long time. So yeah. So Deku says, I'm gonna get change and I'm gonna get, everything ready, and then we're heading out, it looks like. So Deku does that. When he leaves them, 20 minutes later, Shota rings the doorbell. Dabi opens it. She hugs Dabi. She says hello to Inko. She says hello to All For One. She does talk to All For One, saying it's kind of weird knowing that Izuku technically is your, son. How come he never got your quirk? Which All For One just tells her easily. I had a quirk that would let me choose which one I wanted to use. So that quirk was fire breathing, in which I couldn't raise suspicions at the time, so I thought it would work better, which no one knew I ever had. I took it from a rowdy young man who was having a hostage, so, and she goes, wait, you did heal work? He goes, I may be a villain, but I still have morals. How do you think Izuku, Izuku gets his heroic spirit from? In which, that's kind of confusing because she says, you're the number one villain. He goes, yes. And I do have a slight heroic spirit to save people, if needed. Even if they're not useful to me, they still can be useful to someone else in the future. They could still have a life. And also, I am a father. That person who I saved had a child. And if I was, if I was a hero, would let that happen? No. But as a villain, would I let that happen? No. Never. So I took his quirk, they arrested him, and she thanked me, and I told her, don't. I'm a villain. I am the number one villain. I am All For One. And she did not care, so she thanked me anyways. And I was going like, weird. So yeah. So that's why Izuku gets his heroic spirit from. And sometimes his coldness. Which Todoroki does, because I do remember I made him somewhat cold sometimes. She does say he can be, a little bit cold to people at times. Sometimes he can be a little bit of his acting very good would be basically lying to me because I thought he was my brother or something, and then my dad thought it too, and where Toya just starts laughing about this. He goes, yep, that's my brother for you. Always able to trick anyone, whoever he wants. So Deku comes down, and just like some clothing he already set up, and his back already filled and such. Ink already had breakfast ready for him. He, has his bag with him, so he puts it down and eats it. And so after when it's done, Deku says, you ready to go, Shota? She goes, let's go. And so when, they leave the door, when they're about to walk out the door, Toya just says, hey, is Endeavor with you? She goes, yes, but he did not want to come in because of, not because of his status or anything. And Toy was like, yeah, I know. He doesn't know how to talk to me. No, he doesn't know if he should because of, how he was and plus his actions. He's kind of contemplating on it. Like, he's walking back and forth right now. As he basically comes to where the door is, he sees Endeavor, start mumbling to himself, going like, okay, Like, should I go in? No, 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 no. He'll probably, stop me. Nah, he'll probably burn me, and I'll have to start to defend myself. I don't want to cause a problem for this family. Also, the awful one's there, and, well, as a father, he would probably try to knock some sense into me. Oh my god, what's happening? What do I do? And, he's having that. As Toya just goes up to him, he goes, "Yo, oh man, stop acting like such a baby at times." In which goes, Toya, I mean, Davi, hey, in which there's an awkward silence. He goes, uh, "Give me your phone." He goes, "Huh?" So basically, Endeavor gives his phone to, Davi, aka Toya. He gives his contact information to him, saying, "There. Text, basically, we can text if you feel better like that. Try to build our bond slowly. I mean, I can forgive you because of one reason." He goes, "What's that?" He goes, "If I never went down this path, then I would have never met him," as he points to Deku. "I would have never met my little brother. So, I am okay with everything now, after talking to Inko and All For One, or should I say Hasashi. So, you know, I'm okay with everything. It's fine." He goes, "Are you sure?" He goes, "Yeah. Don't make me repeat myself, old man. Just text me when you want to talk, alright?" Which he says, "Alright." Bye. So Deku, him and not Toya, Shota get into the car after he puts his bag in the trunk of the car, and they drive off. In which Deku just saying, "Thanks for the ride, Mr. Endeavor." He says, Mr. Todoroki. Alright. So, do you want to say anything to me? He was just one thing. If there's something happens there, protect my daughter. That's all. Alright? He was, yeah, alright. So they get to the private plane that Endeavor has, which he just tells them, saying, "Take my daughter and her boyfriend over to Island." So yeah. So they get over there. Bakugo and All Might's there along with Melissa meets Bakugo. But here's the thing though. They also see Izuku and not Izuku, Deku and Shota. And she goes, "Half and half? Nerd." And he goes, "Angry Pomeranian." Deku says that to Baku. He was like, "What do you mean I'm an angry Pomeranian?" He goes, "See, I always get you like that." He's like, "Ugh." "So what are you two doing here?" I was like, well, I mean, Shota asked me out, if I wanted to come here. So I said, sure, why not? Basically, and, yeah. So, which he looks at Shota, and, she's trying to hold back, like she wants to hold Zuko's hand, like he can see. He's like, "So, is this a date for you two?" And Deku looks at Bakugo with a little smirk on his face, and he basically pulls in Shota, and he was like, "Yeah, it's a date. I mean, we're not officially, dating. We didn't ask each other out, but, this is a date." In which, her face goes bright red. She goes, "A date?" He was like, "Yeah. Didn't you want it to be that way?" She goes, "Yes. No, I mean, yes." She's acting all flustered and stuff. So he just says, "Alright, it's a date." So, Melissa sees Deku. She sees, the scarring on him and stuff. Because of, the quirk. What it did to him. She does ask, she comes over and, she moves Baku out of the way. She grabs his hand and, she asks, "How did you get this scarring on you?" He goes, "Quirk. That's it." Don't worry about it. It doesn't hurt It doesn't even hurt at all. She goes, "But still, a quirk shouldn't have done this. You should have had, protective gear on your skin so that way." It doesn't bother me. Seriously, don't worry about it." She lets go Deku's hand, and she goes, "Are you sure?" He was like, "Yeah." Besides, who are you anyways? She then like says, "Oh my god, I'm sorry. I just saw that I was like panicked that you thought you were hurt. You know, it was hurting you and all that." And Deku just looks at his hand, and he does have like that scarring on around his neck and such. He goes like, even though his mouth, he goes, "Yeah, it happens." People look at me weirdly, but hey, I don't care. It's not like it matters anyways. I don't feel no burns or anything. So, name's Izuku Midoriya. This is Shota Todoroki, or Shoto Todoroki. Female name's better, so, you know. She goes, I'm Miss. She says, "Alright, my name's Melissa Shield. It's nice to meet the both of you." And she does ask him, saying, she already knows Baku's the user one of All for One. She does ask, "So, do you know Uncle Might?" He goes, which Deku says, "Yeah, I do. He's my teacher at UA." She goes, "Really? What's your quirk?" He goes, "Cremation, but it has a lot of different things to it. So, a lot of things you don't understand." She goes, "Try me." He goes, "Sorry, can't. I like to keep them a secret. Besides, I'm technically on a date, so," she goes, "Excuse me, I'm gonna go." In which he takes, Shota's hand, they leave. She was basically getting annoyed that this girl stealing her, the attention, but she was surprised that Deku just left her like that. She was, "Why you just, we're on a date, come on. You think I'm gonna leave you, like, look, I noticed you were getting upset, so if I was better off that I be the rude one there, so don't worry." She smiles and goes, "Sometimes you're just, I don't know." So yeah, so they're enjoying their time. They meet the other people there and such, and everything goes similar. The only thing is though, Deku was told to have a suit, and Izuku made a suit for himself. So what happened was, what Deku's just wearing is an all black suit with blue around it, and plus it's fireproof. They can take anything he has. So basically it's like, I know I did not do the. Yeah, this was like, I know like the whole entire forest training arc is after the whole entire island incident. So yeah, but basically though, so after everyone's meeting up, Shota's there. She was like, "Huh, I wonder where Zuko," as he's just coming down with his all black suit with a blue tie, blue vest. He does have his earrings in which he's coming over and goes like, "Sorry for keep you waiting." She goes, No, you didn't keep me waiting." Her face is red. Ochako's, Jiro's, Mina's, they're just shocked by this. Not Mina, like, Mina's not there. It was Momo. Momo's shocked by this. She basically says, "Wow, Midoriya, you look great." Jiro just says, yeah." Uraraka just doesn't know what to say. So, he just says, "Thanks, girls. But, I gotta ask Shota something." In which they're like, "Huh?" So, Shota goes like, "What do you need to ask me?" He just says, "I know we started off with it, at first, on a bad, not on the best of terms." She goes, "Yeah, that was because of me." He goes, "So, do you want to be my girlfriend?" In which all the girls are shocked by this, which she just said yes. And so they start a little dating, and well, All Might does get captured. Everything goes similar with All Might, but when David leaves with the people that capture him, Izuku and everyone else, Izuku just says, "Alright guys, I'm going in." In which they're going like, "Are you crazy?" In which two flame swords appears. Well, No, two swords appears, not swords, daggers appears in his hands. Yes, I'm making him have his weapons. But he doesn't have this specific skills for swordsmanship would not work. Um, Actually, yeah, they would work. Doesn't matter which blade he uses. In which he just says, "I'm going in. No one's gonna stop me." So, just watch. As Izuku basically kicks the door open, and immediately fire comes off of his foot after he kicked the door, and fire just shoots out, which it does causes a moment of distraction for the guards to not see him, as basically he just rushes forwards. These blades have a unique, it's a paralyzing effect to it, and they're blunt. So when he hits them, it cuts them, but it adds a it's a paralyzed, so they all get paralyzed easily. Someone does see Deku, they try to shoot him, he dodges it, then all of a sudden he goes, "Fire chains!" As he shoots out fire and he wraps around them, and then he just burns them over to them, and he kicks them basically. Send them flying into the wall, they're knocked out. After a few minutes of this happening, he takes down them all. So, Izuku sees what type of stuff they have on them, and, well, pillaged. He took it. He goes, "Hey, bad guys, had to have some cash on them." In which he just starts counting it. Which All Might goes, "Yo, Midori, that ain't heroic." He goes like, "My thief class? Doesn't matter if I'm heroic or not. When you need money, you need money." Yeah, that's enough. So he took all the people's like all the money of their wallets. In which Shota just says, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, I had to." Bakugo just says, "You can't help yourself, huh?" He goes, "Well, who's late to the party? And Kirishima, how did you two get lost?" He goes, "I don't know, Midori, bro. Just did. Besides, we took on some villains before we got here, so anyways, let's get going. As everyone just goes. So everything goes similar to canon, but with the whole entire of them getting up to the basically up onto the top of the roof. Izuku, well, up to the hole that's made, Izuku decides to do something. He starts creating the fire around his body like he did in the Sports House on Wayne's. And then he grabs Melissa and Shota, and just flies up. In which, then, it was surprising, because All Might even gets there. And so, yeah. So, basically, they're going through everything. Everything goes similar. The only thing that's different is All Might's at the roof already waiting. So, yeah. So, after that, this happens. Everything from with the whole entire, like, Wolf, whatever his name is, that has it able to put the device that will increase his quirk's power. Well, basically, they're not working for All for One. They're just doing this because they want to get rid of All Might. They were hired by Overhaul to try to increase Ares' quirk to produce even stronger quirk, to basically nullify quirk bullets, better ones, to try to increase production. Let's just say that. So yeah, so basically, he's saying, "Ha! No one can stop me now." And All Might is captured and all, and Deku everyone gets up there as they don't know what to do. Bakugo can't do nothing because All Might's there. As Deku just summons out the Sword of Stan, he just starts walking. He goes, "No one can do anything, huh? Is that what you believe? Well then." As he just looks up at the steel golem, he just says, "You're pathetic as a villain. I'll show you what true power really is." And then he just slashes. A flame goes out. Basically, a flame slash happens, but it just hits one little part. It nicks it. But through that nick that it made onto the golem, it basically destroys the whole entire thing. And the whole entire thing basically cut into multiple pieces, in which everyone is shocked by. As Izuku goes, you know, basically the legendary swordsman skill class comes in handy. In which this is a combination between his King of Hell and, basically swordsman class. Plus the Angel of Death basically allows him to use the scythes and the scythe skills and everything. Pyromancy, Eternal Flame. So yeah. So basically Izuku just sends. So he says, "Alright, everyone, if you don't want to burn, get behind Shota." As everyone listens, All Might even knows he does, which Shota creates a whole entire wall of ice, as cold as she says. She goes, "Alright, Izuku, do it now!" And then all of a sudden, he slams down his left hand onto the building, as the fire shoots all the way down through the building. But I mean by shooting down, it's not wrecking anything. Somehow he's making it going past through. He combined Eternal Flame plus King of Hell along with Ghosts to pass right through everything, in which when it hits the ground, he goes, "Now then, Eternal Eruption Dragon Strike!" And boom, like a wall of fire goes up, a blue cremation. But when it when it basically goes all the way up the building, it starts to form basically a dragon head, and it strikes the villain, sending him upwards. And then all the fire disappears from the ground, goes up into basically becoming a dragon, as Zuko's controlling of his hand, as he holds it towards him. Izuku makes the sword disappears. He jumps up. He covers his fist in fire. And basically he says he just has to copy this because he knows Shota's gonna hate this. But he just says, because of Izuku trained with Toya, and Toya does know how to do Endeavor's moves. He goes, "Prominence Bard!" And he hits basically Wolf and Steel Quirk named Wolf basically, and it's right in the gut, as it is basically doing damage to this guy, as then there's basically an explosion happens, and the whole entire ice did melt after the whole entire dragon did leave the building, so the building's saved, nothing's melted, everyone's okay. And Shota heard that. She goes himself, he really had to say that. He really had to say that. I hate my brother for this. As both Endeavor and Toya sneezed. Which Toya is visiting, Natsuo and Fumi. Is there too. So they asked what's wrong. They said, "I feel like somebody used my move." Wait, it probably was Izuku. Then Toya said, "I think Shota said she hated that I taught him that move then." In which Rigo's like, wait, huh? What happened to my little girl? Who's this Izuku person? As they said, Toya just says, "Oh, that's Shota's with him." She goes, "Wait, Shota? You mean Shota, right?" Endeavor says, "We're gonna change her name to Shota, so it's much more easier then." And they go, "Okay," but he goes, "Okay, back on topic. Who is this boy?" In which Endeavor and Toya just said, "Her boyfriend," in which they just start eating. Which Natsuo and Fumi go "Huh? Her boyfriend? Our little sister has a boyfriend? You didn't tell us?" He goes, "I know the kid. I consider him my brother. Not really my brother, but brother because I taught him, and we have somewhat the same personality. So In which Natsuo goes like, I'm gonna meet this kid. And I said, I mean, wait, you said you trained him, right? He goes, yes. Is that the kid that you said you gave the, yes? And basically who is also the father of, who's also the son of All for One? Yes. Yeah, a problem with that? He goes, no, never mind. In which, Ri's just like, okay, I missed a lot. I'm gonna have to meet this boy. He does, which then, Toya does say, he has scars like me, so, yeah. We trained a lot with the quirk. He's basically overpowered. In which Endeavor was like, if he's able to use my move with not even any, like, burnout on himself, then he's a good protector of my daughter. In which Fumi's just like, I'm gonna call her up right now. And so we go back over. Deku is just holding the villain in his hand. He does have the machine in his hand though, in his right hand basically. He just melts it. Basically, David's shield was okay. He was out of there. He was not hit by the flames. I don't want you guys to think, oh, I killed David's shield. No. All Might was able to grab him. I just forgot to say that, so sorry. But yeah. So what happens is, though, David Shield is going to have to be arrested. Melissa is going to, take care of Island for a while. Well, no. That's different because he did not hire them. Because All Might did say he did give his quirk over to somebody. But he's going to be in commission of being a hero for a couple more years. So yeah. So anyways, back to this. Sorry. So whatever the guy's name is, I'll just call him Wolf, is, unconscious. Shota comes over. She basically punches him in the arm. She goes, "You really have to say my dad's move?" He goes, "Yeah, I did because it was to annoy you." She goes, "I can't believe I said yes to dating you." And then he just looks at her. He leans in. He goes like, "You know you like me." He goes, "I know, but still." He goes, "Come on, I'm not that bad. It wasn't that bad." Hey, he's just lucky I didn't try to do an insta-kill flame on him. She kind of chuckles at this. She goes, "Yeah, I know." And then she just kisses him, in which that's when Fiume calls. She gets her phone and she ignores it and puts on silent and well, they just start making out. Which All Might goes, which he goes, "Moment here, come on." He's like, "Well, this isn't a school trip, so sorry." As he goes, "Never to see you, everyone. Just go along." And yeah, so they have their little makeout session, and then that's it. She called, like, Fumi's been calling, so she calls. She goes, "Hi, sis." Which Shota does sound happy. She goes, "Why are you happy all of a sudden?" He goes, "Well, boyfriend made out with me. So, well, I kissed him, then was making out with him, then yeah, basically." She goes, "So, can you send me a picture of you two?" In which she tells Izuku to come over, and they take a selfie. Him just smiling and doing a peace sign, and Shota just doing exactly the same thing as him. In which, Fumi gets the picture. She then sees it. She shows Ri real quick, her mother, and well, she just talks to her for a few minutes while they're just walking down, getting to the first floor. So yeah. And then after that, she does ask though, when they get down there to the ground level. She goes, "Wait, how is it that your tux is not ruined?" He goes, "Oh, I made this, so of course I'm gonna have a lot of fire resistance to it." She goes, "You're lucky." He just smiles. He goes, "I know." So yeah, so after that, our entire thing was reported. Inko did not call him up saying, "Are you okay? Are you alright?" She did not ask that. Neither did Shigaraki. But All for One does say that he is going to try to find out who hired them to attack the island. In which he does call David. And he does offer his services to help with rebuilding. Help rebuild the island. and help with security for it. Increase it, I mean. Not like go over there and help it, no. Which David goes like, oh my, All for One has my number. I was like, oh yes, I gave it to him. He, well, he said he may need some like, support items for restricting his power to not harm no students if he's a combat teacher. In which he goes, huh? Wait. The number one villain, UA. Yes, so believe it or not, he is the father of Izuku Midoriya. And which Izuku is like holding Shota's hand, you know, basically she's just leaning on his shoulder. In which he goes, wait, is that a good idea to have his son at UA? And like, he's like all skeptical. Melissa says, Dad, he's not a villain. He's a hero. I mean, would he really go to this length if he was a villain? In which David goes like, sorry dear, just old sidekick helping out All Might kicked in, sorry. In which, well, All Might says, believe it or not, All for One was going to give up being a villain, just so he can raise his family. And I stopped him from doing that. So, you know. But as soon as he found out about his son, he just changed. I'm surprised myself. I mean, so, yeah. And well, after all of that, they do spend a couple of days on Island, and then they go back. So now, after that, Izuku kept his bag packed. He just did not keep any of like the tuxedo in there. Same with Shota and everyone else who was at Island. And then they go all the way, they get to school. They heard about, they say, hey, we heard about Island. Who was the one who took him down? The villain. They didn't want to mention or anything. Kept it classified. So who did it? Izuku just says, I don't know, just some guy in a black outfit. Covered his face. Basically said, dragon something. Dragon Strike Devour or something, I don't know. He just walks away, just doesn't even care. And Shota just laughs about it. And everyone's just asking him, why are you laughing? He goes, oh, nothing. Just nothing. So yeah, she runs over. She's holding Izuku's arm. And then she says, hey, can you kind of, kneel down, like, lean down a little? He goes, yeah. And then she kisses him on the cheek. Everyone in class 1A is shocked who did not know about this. Bakugo's like, yeah, nerd! You got a girlfriend! And then Izuku says, yeah, way more quicker than you ever could, Bakugo. He's like, yeah, whatever, nerd. So, yeah. So, anyways, though, they get onto the bus. They're all chatting away. Izuku's just, listening to music with Shota. Endeavor was told about it. He approved of it. And so, it was just all it was all just good. The only entire difference thing is Dabi, Toga, Shigaraki twice, and Mr. Compress, Spinner, Magma, and All for One is there. They're all there on the bus, in which everyone's actually getting along pretty well. Shigaraki, just talks to the other kids, saying how he always was afraid of his quirk technically. He didn't want to touch no one when he was a kid, and talked about his past. So a lot of other people cried about this. How could people have done that to you? He was like, yeah, it doesn't really matter that I got father over here. Kirigiri is also there. He goes, young master Izuku, would you like anything? He goes, Kirigiri, I'm not your master. I mean, we're just friends. Which all for One did tell Aizawa, saying that is your old friend, which who died. I turned him into a Nomu. I saw potential in him, and which I heard about his death, so I thought, no. Keeping him as being the freaking... keep his subconscious there. He has all his memories. He just has to choose to remember it. in which, so that way, Aizawa asks Kiriki if they can talk for a while, in which then all of a sudden, he deactivates the smoke quirk, and he goes, took you a while, as, Shoto, in which he goes, wait, you remember? He was like, yeah, I remember the day I was, when I woke up. I just took care of the kid. I couldn't let him be hanging around. In which Shigaraki was like, finally you freaking revealed yourself. I wonder how long it was gonna take. In which he just laughs about it. He's like, yeah, sure thing, Shigaraki. Well, let's catch up, Aizawa. He's like, yeah, I know, I just need to remember his name, so on. Shimakuma. You know, basically they just start talking, chatting. They do stop, and well, voila, pussycats. The whole entire thing happened. Izuku just kind of just be like, letting it happen. So, they were surprised when they saw villains there. Aizawa says they're not villains, they're working for the school, which they did not hear about. It's not outside of school that they know, but a lot of villain society, villains in general, who have worked for the League of Villains, were mostly the majority of the villains. Like, crime rate has went down. And I mean, like, down, just like plummeted down to only being crime rate 5% of crime. That is it. That's how far it went down. And so, there is crime. Like, even though these, people still work for All For One, Shigaraki, and the League of Villains, they do say to Nezu that they can't stop all crime. Because there is, things where we have to keep it in balance. And Nezu agreed. So, that was like when it went down immediately to 5%, and it went up to about 25% of crime rate. Which happened very quickly, surprisingly. So, it's a good 25% of crime rate. Crime is happening. So anyways though, villains and heroes are still around. Just there's like a little bit more villains. Like a little more heroes now, which are former villains, but just teaching at UA. In which, surprisingly, if they had a chance, a lot of the teachers at UA and students were surprised that these people who were villains are really good teachers. They understand how quirks work with students, and they're okay. So anyways, that's what I was saying. So, in the Forest of Monsters, everything goes different. And everyone gets there about 2 hours early. They get there really early. So, the whole entire thing, though, with Coda, let's just say this. All For One, he remembers hearing about the water horses. And they remembered that they had a son. So, he does ask, though, the aunt of Coda, do you know whatever happened to Muscular? And when she goes, no. Well, unknown to them, Muscular has been dead. He's dead. Like, subconscious, his body's still there, but his mind is dead. He's gone. He's not mentally there no more. He just tells her he's already been taken care of years ago. So, don't worry about it. In which Koda heard this, he goes, who are you? He goes, I am All For One, the #1 villain, who was willing to give up being a villain for his family. You see, little Kota, was it? And he goes, how did you... Your parents were the water hoses, huh? He goes, yeah. Well, here's a secret that society does not know. I took care of, basically, Muscular. He's in a secret facility of mine that he is physically alright. Mentally, no. He's not there no more. He's gone. He's dead. And when she goes, wait, that means your parents have been avenged. So, don't blame heroes for what your parents did. Blame only Muscular. He's the one who took them away, not heroes. And besides, I'm a father. So, I know how it is. Parents do not want to leave their children behind, no matter what. Dear boy. They probably are very upset that you were left alone, not having the both of them in your life. They could take it all back and live again. They would. And, well, basically then, all of a sudden, all for one had an idea. An idea to basically revive the dead. He goes, Izuku! He goes, yeah, Dad? Your quirk, your phoenix abilities. Could it revive someone from the dead at any age? He goes, yeah, pretty much. I can. Depends on how long they've been. It doesn't really matter how long they've been dead. So he looks at Shimakumura. He goes, but he says, Kirigiri, please get the containers of the ashes. Which he nods. So he opens the portal, and after a few minutes, he comes out with basically not a wagon, but basically a cart with, well, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically, it's Shigaraki's grandmother, grandfather, mother, sister, dog, Koda's parents, both of them. In which he just says, "Now place them place them down separately." In which he does, and so he does put them in an area where there's no wind. It's separate, and he goes, "Now, Izuku, please cover them around, fire around it, and let's see what happens." And so what he does is, Izuku says, "Alright, Phoenix Revival." As then he covers the field in fire. And with the ashes, as all of a sudden they just start glowing. As they start swirling around. In which all of a sudden they burst into flames. As everyone's in shock by, as Alfun says, "It's working! It's working!" As Aizawa goes, "What's working?" He goes, "Izuku has revived the dead." In which Koda goes, "But does that mean..." And he goes, "Yes, Koda, your parents are coming back to life." In which, all of a sudden, when the fire disappears, there is Shigaraki's mother, grandmother, grandfather, little sister, his dog, Koda's parents. In which they're like, what the? Shigaraki is looking at Izuku, looking at his mom, his sister, his grandmother, grandfather. He goes, "Mom." And she goes, "Who are you?" He goes, It's me. It's me." I did not know his name. Hold on. In which he says, "It's me, Tenko. It's you guys been dead a long time because of..." And then he just starts breaking down in tears as his mother comes running over to him and hugs him. She basically is just saying, "My baby boy." As his sister's going, but how?" As All For One explains how he knew their child was being abused, so he gave him a power. When he was coming over to visit, he came over to the damaged house. And what has happened? So, he made sure to keep memories of, everyone with him, but in the form of hands, and just, well, burn the rest of the ashes. Burn the rest of the bodies into ashes, basically. Hopefully one day be able to get a court to revive them. In which he also saw about the water hoses, in which Koda's running over and hugs both his parents, in which they're crying, and saying he could not leave a child to be without a parent. So he wanted to at least try to bring them back as well. In which she goes, "So you're the one who gave my son a quirk?" He goes, "Yes, ma'am, I am. I am All For One, the number one villain, but former villain. I'm a teacher at UA." Somewhat. I teach, strategies of villainy, how real villains work in the field, with, well, and basically, that's what I am. As she goes, thank you for giving him the quirk, and he does ask though. He knows how it activated, and when she asked what happened, he goes, well, your son felt hatred and despair, basically. So he activated his quirk. Hold on. So instead of being angry at him, she goes up and hugs all for one, just saying thank you. And his sister's, but did he become a hero? He goes, little girl, I am a villain. So he became a villain, but now he's given a chance to be a student at UA and a teacher. So it's all good. And so I have to go to work in about 2 minutes from now. So no, 3 minutes from now. So this is where I'm gonna have to end it off. Just know, everything goes somewhat different. There is no attack on it. So there's gonna be no rescue. It's just them training. So that's where we're just gonna have to skip it. No, we're not gonna do that right now. We're gonna just say, alright, so after that, they do all the things that they do with their quirks, just with Izuku. He fights Dabi. He fights Dabi extremely hard. For some weird reason, Dabi's power increased in his ice. And they're both fighting on extreme levels in which everything is for that whole entire thing. Class 1B saw Izuku and Dabi fight. They were shocked to see this. As Aizawa just says, I'm not getting into that fight. I'm not stopping it. And it's just crazy how strong these two people are. And, well, Aizawa reported, show the video to him, show Izuku's and Dabi's fight. And Nezuko was like, I should just make these both pro heroes. These two are good for each other to be pros. Freak it. I will make them pros. I will literally try to make these two pro heroes right now, if I can. And so, that's how it went. That's all what happened, really. It's just training, him and Shota talking, increasing their relationship. Basically, hanging out with each other, watching movies together, sleeping, wherever they can. During the movie, what they watch, so yeah. But anyways, that's all that happens in that one. So I hope you guys have a nice day, night, wherever you are. Bye everyone. See you tonight in the Goro Naruto, or Naruto Goro reincarnation. What if Naruto was the reincarnation of Goro? So yeah. Bye everyone.